are not going to get anywhere in life, spiritually or otherwise, until you come to that point where you don't give a damn what people think about you. As long as you worry about what other people think about you, you will be mediocre. It only matters what you believe about yourself. Believe in yourself as a successful person. Believe that you can and you will. But until you believe you can, you won't.
Peace and elevation, family. It's your boy Entrepreneur, the living survival manual, here to teach you different ways to see your greatness by investing in yourself. Let's get into the vibes.
I gave them something to believe in, you know they ain't believe it. Tried to show them the vision, they ain't zoom in to see it. Told them about these heights, they said it's too high to reach it. And that had me feeling like Mike, I told them you gotta beat it. See, it's diamonds in your soul, but you gotta dig a lot deeper. See, all of our minds been exposed, but I've been changing the frequency. Sending my prayers and affirmations, way past where them eagles be. What I learned in my returns is not all things you need to see. You gotta feel it, the negative talk, the negative thoughts, and you gotta kill it. I know that it's hard, and then they leave scars, and then they appealing, but you gotta heal it. There's lessons in every little layer, but you gotta peel it. Cause the best way to get some air is removing your ceiling. Look, trust me, I know cause I did it. Hit rock bottom, looked around like damn, what the fuck I do with it? I remember the levels and picked up my shovel and I started digging until I got dizzy. And trust me, the spirit been busy. I'm back and I'm paid and I'm busy, so feel like I'm acting the way that you get it. This is for back in the day when they just shit it. I gave them something to believe in, you know they ain't believe it. Tried to show them the vision, they ain't zoom in to see it. Told them about these heights, they said it's too high to reach it. And that had me feeling like Mike, I told them you gotta beat it.
Welcome to See Your Greatness Studios. Here, we're all about empowering you to create a standout brand. Our comprehensive services range from sleek, user-friendly web design to distinctive graphic design, and we handle all the essentials of business registration. By combining these elements, we ensure your brand isn't just visible, it's memorable. Join us to transform your vision into reality and make your mark in the business world. Let's build something great together. From vision to greatness, see it, believe it, brand it. For more information, follow the link at linktr.ee/SigStudio5 today. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. Why not start with yourself?
Yes, Zersky, peace, love, and light. It's the God, Lord Christopher, the Liver Survival Manual, and I'm back with another download straight from the cosmos. Remember, somebody has to see your greatness. When I start with yourself, stay blessed, always finesse. Definitely trust the process, the truest keys to success. Hey, listen, man, we're back with another episode of the See Your Greatness podcast, episode 68. You dig me? Personal development equals personal growth. If you haven't taken the time to tap into our latest live with Courtney Matthews of Matthews Technologies, I definitely highly suggest that you go tap into that powerful interview that I had with the guy, man. A lot of amazing information. But guess what? We got to keep the ball rolling. We got to keep going. We got to keep finding individuals and putting them on the platform who I believe have a lot of intellectual insight, a lot of personal insight, a lot of business insight, just insight, period, when it comes to seeing your greatness, motivating yourself, putting yourself in the best position possible to excel. So we had to bring it back with another episode. This gentleman, man, is just an amazing guy overall, right? Just his energy, his spirit, his mindset, his story, all powerful, right? I felt that it was rightfully so to finally, get him on the show and have him not only express the things that he's been through in his life, but educate you guys on how to really walk into your true purpose, into your God body is what I like to call it, right? Truest form, your most powerful form. Me and him have been, amazing brothers for a few years now, right? I honestly thank my wife for allowing us two to meet, chop it up, have some powerful conversations, and just to see his growth and where he is now. I'm honored, honestly, to have him on the show today. So just understand, y'all gonna be in for an amazing conversation. Before I bring this gentleman up, you guys know I have to go into my disclaimers before we get into any vibes, because I ain't got time for people coming up here expressing to me that we gave you information, you took the information, and now you put yourself in a situation that wasn't really the best fit for you, right? Because we do provide a lot of education, we do provide a lot of motivation. However, we always advise individuals to do their own research so that you can utilize these tools and these resources to the best of your abilities, depending on your circumstances, right? So let's go ahead and get into the disclaimer, and then I'm going to bring this guide up, and we're going to really dive into some real amazing conversation, a real great build, all right? The Sea of Greatness Studios advocates for self-awareness, right? And we look to improve our communities. We look to improve and motivate and educate and enlighten our people, right? On new ways to achieve greatness through seeking new ways to invest in themselves. Everything is high level. What we think, what we say, how we feel, how we act. And as we get into this energy, I need y'all to just do something for me, man. Just do a little something for me. Take the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We love engagement over here. And we understand that a village pushes a trend, not just one individual. So the support is much appreciated. How can you do that? All you got to do is just hit that link right there that's scrolling across. Type that into your Googles. This allows you to not only be invested into the community, but you're able to follow us on all social media platforms. You're able to actually have a more personal feel with me, right? Because I invite you to a lot of different things that I am a part of, right? So tap into that link, become a part of the SYGS community. Our aim is not only to grow the brand, reach at least 500,000 to 1 million individuals one day who want, need, and are seeking the knowledge to live a more abundant life. With all this information that we will be providing, this disclaimer has to be stated. Please take the time to do your own research. It's very vital. Our content is intended to be used for motivational, sometimes educational purposes only, but always do your own analysis based on your own current circumstances. Now let's all get into our God body energy, and how we do that. Y'all already know, family. We got to step into our focus. We got to step into our clarity. How we do that? Slight little 10-second meditation, right? I'm going to say inhale on 3. You got to inhale peace, right? Allow yourself to feel love. Allow yourself to, just be in solitude in this 10 seconds. And when you exhale, understand you're now stepping into your greatness to receive and accept growth, all right? So on 3, we're going to inhale some peace. Release when you feel is fit for you. Exhale, receive that growth and see your greatness, all right? 3, 2, 1. Inhale peace. Exhale, receive the growth, and let's see greatness. Hey, listen, without further ado, man, I want to bring up my guy, the life coach, the YouTube connoisseur. You know what I'm saying? A man of many talents, man. My guy, Joe J, the Professor. Insilo.
What's popping, man?
How you doing, my guy?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. I appreciate you bringing me on here.
Of course, man. Look, man, it's long overdue, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? We always chop it up every so often, you know, we brothers, you feel what I'm saying? So
That's right. That's
we
right.
off camera, we always checking up on each other,
Yeah.
just seeing how we're living, making sure that our mental and things of that nature are
Yeah.
in the space that it should be, right? However, a lot of individuals don't understand that we also talk about things outside of just what we deal with personally, right?
That's right.
Me again, being introduced to you by my wife, and we just really clicking like from like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like you understood like where my mindset was, where my energy was, vice versa. And I felt like, you know, as we grew to like really educate one another, grow with one another, we realized like, yo, we got some common goals that we can tackle. You dig what I'm saying? And it takes stuff like this, it takes platforms, it takes those conversations for, you know, us as men to really come together and build, right? And you've been doing your thing, man. You've been doing your thing, man.
I
You feel me?
appreciate you,
I'm
man.
very proud of you, bro. For real, dog.
Appreciate you.
Like
Appreciate you.
you really stayed dedicated and you know, just took yourself to new heights. You know, especially with, you
Yeah.
know, you getting into life coaching and you know, just life coaching yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Like
All the way
I
through.
see the elevation, bro, every step of the way. So I'm happy to have you here, Brody. And yeah, man, this is gonna be a vibe tonight. As we get started, you know, I kind of gave him an introduction of who you are and things of that nature. But go ahead and introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you are.
All right. So for those who don't know, I'm Joel Insilo. My brand name is Jay the Professor. I'm a men's life coach, fashion, lifestyle, just overall motivational coach. So that's pretty much what I do on a daily basis. I'm also a consultant for a corporate company. I'm not going to name no names, but that's pretty much what I do day to day.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
sir.
yeah,
Okay, okay. So,
yeah.
I wanted to bring you on today in specific because I felt like you were the epitome of like what this episode talks about. You feel what I'm
Mm,
saying? And
yeah,
we're talking about personal development and personal growth, right?
right.
Within that, right? Just like let's just dive into a question. Like, what does personal development or personal growth mean to you, particularly?
I would say, man, I mean, honestly, personal growth and personal development is a lifestyle. It's just being the best version of yourself, pretty much overall. And I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, and I'm not just speaking for men, but people in general don't focus on being the best version of themselves. People are seeking exterior. People are seeking outside motives and stuff like that, or validation, outside validation, to determine who they are. But most people don't
Mm-hmm.
take the time to determine who they are from within. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something I preach about in my videos all the time, is focus on loving you, focus on being the best version of yourself. It's simple, but it's actually difficult, especially when you have certain circumstances. You're in certain predicaments of life. You have all these roadblocks. It's hard to really compartmentalize those things. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I
Yeah.
always teach guys, and not even just guys, people in general, women too. If you truly focus on being the best version of yourself and understand the true essence of who you are, you're gonna thrive in life. You know what I'm saying? Understand the true, genuine, absolute essence of who you are, you're gonna thrive in life. So that's something that I preach often, often.
Right.
And I'm so passionate about this because I've been through I've tried to be many different versions of what I was not. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But once I started to accept who I am and the gifts that I bring to the table, and I still many more things I'm learning about myself. But as of now, I've accumulated so many different so much information as far as ways to help, because I've
Right.
been, we talked before, I've been in so many low moments where I felt, in the bottom, I didn't appreciate
Right.
myself, and it has nothing to do with physical. Most people would think, of course, but it's more like internal, and internal is so important, and when you don't believe in yourself from within and you don't like yourself from within, it's going to be very difficult for you to thrive with anybody as far as friendships, relationships, getting a job or starting a career. It all starts from within. So That's something I talk about when it comes to self-development and self-improvement.
Yeah. So let's take a step back, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was like the driving force in you finally realizing, like, yo, I need to change something? You feel what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like when people are going through stages of growth, when people are attempting to take themselves and recreate or reprogram their value or what their self-worth is, a lot of the times we don't know where to start, right? A lot of the times we're not even aware that we need to start.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So we find ourselves in so many different situations that, you know, eventually puts us in this space of like, yo, you need to wake up. It's time for you to make a shift, right?
Yeah.
So let's take a step back, like, and kind of like tear apart the layers of what got you to the Jada Professor. You feel
That's a
what I'm
great
saying?
question. No, that's a great question. I would say honestly, I mean, from a wider stance, Jada Professor started when I entered college. Because one thing I always look at outcomes, right? I looked at the outcomes of my life and what I was getting. So I'm like, okay, I'm not getting results that I want. You know, I'm still, you know, at that time when I was a freshman in college, which was like 12, 13 years ago or something like that. And I was, you know, very hard thinker, but I used to always look, okay, what's up with these outcomes? Why am I not getting the outcomes I want in all phases of life? So I was like, okay, let me focus on working hard. And thanks to sports, you know, sports instilled that within me to work hard, stay dedicated, stay persistent. So I already had those prerequisite skills and mindset already because of playing football all my life. But as far as applying it to real life was the issue. So with Jada Professor, I'm gonna be honest with you, I would say things didn't really click for real as far as personal development, where there was that fire in regards to it was 2020, it was August of 2022.
Okay.
And it had to do with a particular woman. That was like the last straw where I was like, I need to get myself better. You know, so I got to find a way to be the best version of myself instead of relying on situations that I can't control. You know, you can't control whether a person wants you or not. You can't control whether a person likes you or not, or a person hates on you, or because I was so big on trying to control every situation. You know, I was so focused on, I want everybody to like me. I want everybody to accept who I am. But then I realized you can't please everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I remember, I'll never forget, long story short, I was in my hotel room in Atlanta and I was like, I think it's time to really get myself right. And I entered something called monk mode. Just to let you all know, I have a ebook on monk mode. And essentially monk mode is a spiritual practice that was practiced by the what you call it? What do you call those people? I lost my track of thought of those people's name. I forgot. But it's a spiritual practice initially, right? So my version of monk mode is disappearing for a little bit. You know, it's taking some time to understand who you are from an emotional standpoint, taking some time to understand who you are from a physical standpoint, understanding who you are. That's one of those journeys where you got to pretty lock in, you know, and push all the distractions out. No sex, no masturbation, no pornography, avoid social media, get on it less. You know, you're really focused. It's really isolation mode. Because usually with isolation mode, that's where you really come out and you become a different kind of person. But you got to be intentional with it. There's got to be a specific goal behind that. You know, and my thing was validation. So I remember I went through this monk mode period where I wasn't going out, wasn't hanging out with friends. You know, I was grinding, reading more books. And then when you're in that isolation mode, and Chris, thanks to you, I'm not sure if you're open to me talking about it, but the retention.
This your platform, bro. This is your platform. We fully transparent up here. You feel me?
Let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something. So I'll never forget Chris and I talk, because we don't talk every day, but we check up on each other from time to time. And he asked me, have you ever heard about semen retention? And I said, bro, what? Okay. I'm going ham every day. I don't know what you're talking. And then after that, a couple months later, I do my research, and this is without him. This is just, I started seeing videos on it and guys talking about it. Because I was in that self-improvement mode. I was like, I remember Chris talking about it a year ago, right? Literally a year ago. So I'm like, let me give it a try, right? So I remember the first month. By the way, guys, semen retention is when you're not masturbating, period. The reason why I took notice of that is because I noticed, you got to understand the power of your sperm. And I think a lot of dudes don't understand the power of their sperm. It's life. So you're wasting time whacking off to something that doesn't even know that you exist. And you have this unrealistic expectation of women. Yep. So what happens is you start to visualize them as objects. So, but to be honest with you, it develops more of a high level type of discipline. If you're able to abstain from releasing, that's a whole different ball game. There's so much energy that you have within you that you never had before. Yep. And that's the power of protecting your sperm. Not saying that you don't do it, period, all your life. You got to release some way or somehow, but it's got to be in the confines of either some type of relationship, maybe a marriage. But you can't waste it. I call it wasting sperm, and that's something that Chris and I talked about. So, going back to monk mode in my journey with self-improvement, that was a component of it. So during that time period, I abstained from it. So the first week was difficult. Actually, the first 3 days, I was like, yo, I don't know what Chris tripping. This is not right, So I ended up relapsing. You know what I'm saying? I ended up relapsing. I'm like, all right, I gotta challenge myself because I'm a competitor. So I tried again. Right, tried again, and I went a week. So I'm like, okay, if I can go a week, sure, I can go 2 weeks. So I went 2 weeks, and I went 3 weeks. Then out of nowhere, I realized, man, I went a whole month. Yeah. And what's wild is I realized the power that I have within me because, and this is something I teach everybody. Whatever you go for in life, you can achieve it, but you got to believe it and you got to be about it. And you got to do it. You got to be consistent and persistent. So when I tried it, after a month, I felt invincible. But then me being so idiotic, I didn't really have to do it. I relapsed, not out of a place like, oh my God, I'm going through it. But I was like, I wanted to see how it felt just to release after a month. Right. Yeah. And I felt so guilty. So in a sense, when you do it, and I know most of y'all that are watching know when you release that guilty conscience, like you disappointed your ancestors. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You release and it feel like your ancestors just shaking their head like, man, what a shame. Come on, man. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like you look at your hand, you looking at what you watching. Think about it, that opposing of clarity. You like, what am I doing? But when you share that with somebody that you actually care about, or somebody that you're, somewhat involved with, it's a different kind of satisfaction, depending on who you are and who you extract those emotions and stuff with. So and then on top of monk mode, I focus on my physical health, which is something I've always that's given for me. That's nothing. I'll be honest with you. And then just other aspects, man. It's so many different components of monk mode, and it truly depends on what season of life you're in. Oh, reading books. That is number one. Yes, sir. I read 2 books. Actually, 3 books in that season. Number 1 was The Way to Superior Man. That book saved my life, man. Oh my God. The way, Chris, have you read that book? Yes, sir. My God. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. See, the thing is, when people read that book, all the concepts I talk about are in that book. And I always recommend both men and women to read that book because I truly believe that book talks about the true essence of masculinity, in the true essence of femininity, right? True essence, not what we've created in today's society, but true essence. And that's something that I like. When I read that book, I was getting euphoria. Like, it was like this feeling like, oh my gosh, I love it. It's a great read. You start to get attached. You start to learn more about yourself. You start to understand and see, you start to reflect and replay some of the scenarios you've been a part of. You know, honestly, that's probably the best book I've read all my life. I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah, it is, bro.
Yeah,
it really is.
It changed my life forever.
That book changed my life, and that book, The 4 Agreements, and The Alchemist. Those are the 3 books that changed my life, bro.
Yeah, and people, I think, Chris, a lot of people have lost the art of reading physical books, or just reading a book, period, right? Because you learn a lot from reading books, man. You learn a lot.
Right.
And that particular book, man, took me to a whole different. I'm not the same man I was before that with that book. It's
hard to be.
It's really hard to be when you understand true essence of who you are and what you are called to be. It puts you, it separates you from everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, even amongst some of my homies, I can tell, you know, after reading that book, I would see everything. You know, everything was more clear. I started thinking more with logic, not with so much emotion. To see emotion, there's only a certain time in what I believe. This emotion is a healthy thing, but emotions, it's all about how you channel your emotions is what matters.
Yep.
I think the problem with a lot of dudes is they don't know how to channel their emotions effectively because of their upbringing and what they've experienced.
Right.
You know, but I think as adults, you don't want to let what happened to you before stop you from achieving any goals. So at this point, as an adult, you got to take the initiative to want to get yourself better, self-improve. You know, I'm a big believer in before any type of relationship, you got to get yourself right, especially as a male, because number one, no matter what you hear on the internet with these dating debates and all that stuff, man, at the end of the day, women want leaders, man. That's just number one.
Right.
I tell people, try, you know, no shade to people who do those gender debates and stuff like that. But if you really look at the true essence of everything, you know, us men, we are the leaders. So that's where I started doing stuff on trying to help men and holding men accountable. You know, building leaders. Hey, let's focus on, you know, discipline. Let's focus on your mental health, you know. But so many guys are just so absolutely reckless that they don't realize some of the things that they be doing, you know. And, that's why that book is so important, you know, and because of societal norms and what we think is cool and being accepted. Everybody wants to be accepted and loved at the end of the day to a certain degree, right? But I think if people truly understood who they are and their purpose, and people truly on their purpose, and really, it'll be a whole different ballgame. But my bad, I went on a rant. But
nah. And but this is what this is about. You feel what I'm saying? Because the essence of us understanding personal development or personal growth is to understand the experience of individuals that have taken those steps. You feel what I'm saying? Like when people get up here and rant, it's only because I don't call it ranting, bro. It's passion. You feel what I'm saying? You're passionate about you're passionate about something, a journey that you went through. And as you went through that journey, you start to realize, again, like you stated earlier, how powerful you truly were. And when you started realizing how powerful you were and the essence that resided within you, it almost was like a battery pack was put on inside of you to be like, yo, you got to go share this with everybody now.
Dude, it's so crazy, Chris. As far as like dating has changed so much since I entered this realm 2 years ago. You know, some of the same issues I dealt with in the past are not the same issues I deal with now, you know. And I tell dudes all the time, or people when they look at some of my videos, they always say, who hurt you? But people don't watch the full video. What I say, I'm like, yo, let me tell y'all something. I don't have women problems. Women don't give me problems because I don't allow that. It's what you allow is what people treat you. You teach people how to treat you. I'm a big believer in that. So what you allow is how they're gonna treat you. If you don't lay out boundaries, you don't have parameters, people gonna run through you, And I'm, one thing I tell dudes, because a lot of dudes are motivated by women, right? And I notice the analytics with my videos. When the videos where I talk about women have the most views, and the videos I talk about mental health, I'm struggling. You know what I'm saying? I know what these guys are motivated by. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a crazy statistic that I recognize. When you've been in the YouTube game for a long time, you know what the algorithm hits and what doesn't come through. So that's something that I definitely noticed, man. Anything dating, guys are gonna look. Oh yeah, I want to see what he has to say. But the moment I talk about mental health and personal development, they're like, oh, man, I ain't trying to hear all that. I'm trying to see what this dude's talking about with the girls, how to get girls. It's like that just shows, man, that we're a lot of men's mental, which I understand. I love women. I would love the female species. However, we have to truly understand who we are, and not seek the validation of them, and
right.
Like I said, man, life is great as far as like my mental and my direction and what I want in life and stuff. So there's much more. I still have my down moments and stuff like that. You struggle with, man, I wish I was just this person. Not this person, but you wish you were at this pinnacle in life, but you're not there yet. You're still being patient, but you still got to understand the idea of trust the process. Your time will come. So it's just all about trusting the process. That's pretty much what I preach to myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So my guy Dante, No Dreams, Straight Visions, that's been popping up in here with the comments. And it's gonna touch on what I'm trying to get to. But he was saying, like, back when we were talking about reading books, he was like, we need to change it from reading is fundamental to reading is foundational, right?
Bingo.
And and in this moment, it sparked the question, like, when it comes to foundation, right? You have to build the foundation before you're able to actually have the full building, right?
Yeah.
What are like some foundational things that you stand on, right? And the reason I'm asking is because just going back with reading, right? And you saying like people being motivated by like trending things, right? A lot of our people are motivated by the Bible, right? As a book to read. When I started understanding that the Bible talked a lot about promises, principles, practices, and foundations that you can follow to help you achieve specific.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Pretty much. That's what it is. Yeah.
Right. So I had to develop like my own pillars, I would call, right? I have like 5 pillars that I abide by. I call it C-diff, or it's an acronym for see different, or seeing things different. So the C is like, all right, I have to communicate. The D is I have to have discipline. The I is I have to have an imagination. I have to have focus, which is the F, and then I have to have fun in doing everything that I'm doing, which is my other F, right? That's like my foundation when I'm creating or when I'm, conducting business or things of that nature, right? When it comes to personal development, a lot of us, and you stated, like, we don't have a lot of morals. We don't have a lot of values, or they're not strong, right? And it stems from what happened or how we were raised in our childhood, growing up, the environment, things of that nature. When we take this personal development growth, this personal when we take this personal growth and this personal development, you have to have a foundation. What is Jada Professor's, let's say, top 3 things or top 5 things that he stands on that allows him to continue to become greater?
The more my purpose becomes first. My purpose is number 1. When people ask me, this is gonna sound messed up. When people ask me, so My purpose comes first, man. Because when a man has no purpose, he has no direction. You know, so when he has no direction, you see what happens on the news and people becoming angry. People are doing, like, you see all these murders and all these things happening because these people are not happy within themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So purpose is number one. I mean, purpose over everything for me. Purpose over anything. And if somebody tries to get in the way of my purpose, we are no longer homies, relationship, whatever it is.
Right.
If I feel like you're in the middle or you're getting in the way of my purpose, there's no way we can be cool. I don't care how long we know each other. But if you're in the way of my purpose, there's no way this is going to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect it. You know what I'm saying? And I would say number two, truly valuing yourself, self-respect. So after purpose is self-respect, right? You know, when it comes to social media and stuff like that, I'm a lot more mindful of the things I post because of the things that I preach. You know, I'm a big believer in you practice what you preach, and you are the exemplar, and people are watching my every move, you know. So you know, I'm not perfect by any means necessary, but at the same time, I'm very mindful of what I post, some of the things I say, how I operate, because people are watching. You know what I'm saying? People are watching. So I would say purpose, self-respect, and I would say number three, man, my moral compass. And I don't want to, and moral compass, I would say that it goes hand in hand with self-respect, but my moral values, being respectful, you know, saying excuse me, just certain life principles that you just gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So purpose, self-respect, and moral compass is definitely a
My
big
guy
thing.
said that's understandable though. The fulfillment of purpose is essential.
It is. I'm telling you, I've seen so many of my homies or any dude, when somebody taps into their purpose and really thrive, they become a different kind of person. You start to date, it's like I can feel their energy walking. I'm like, I like that. My dog found his purpose. Or even on the lady side, when a woman's on her purpose, it's an attractive thing, you know. And that's why I come in. When you date a guy like me, I'm gonna lead you to your purpose, because all I'm gonna do is talk about my purpose. So all you're gonna do is end up following. I'm gonna make you better. I'm gonna create structure. That's my job, to create structure, because I've been in so many situations where I lacked structure. I was all over the place, you know. So you know, that's just really what I believe in, man. And purpose, self-respect, and morals, man.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So let's make a transition. And the transition is, you know, we understand that, okay, we started growing in self, right? We started understanding the do's and don'ts of, like, you know, what makes Joe, right? Then you started teaching other individuals. You started becoming a life coach, right? How has that journey been, now understanding, like, I'm not only helping myself become better in this personal development stage or this personal growth, now I'm kind of responsible for other individuals who are now, you know, tackling this exact same obstacle. And the reason I want to ask you, you know, what has your journey or your challenge been like? Because you have a lot of individuals who attempt to express and teach and educate or evoke something for individuals, or especially men, but turns out they're not even living or practicing the things that they preach. How did you feel what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with this? So it's like, how has this journey been with the life coaching and bringing all this, you know, tenfold to actually, you know, it's a business too. You know what I'm saying? It's your business too. You feel me? So how has this been?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chris. I'm gonna be completely transparent. Coaching men is, well, this is what I'm gonna tell you what I do appreciate about coaching men. They, you know, dudes will tell me, man, because your video, man, I went through that too. You know, so most of the things I talk about is what most guys go through. What I don't like about men today is a lot of dudes don't take action. most dudes live in fear because of rejection, acceptance. They seek this unrealistic validation. It's just a lot of dudes lack self-respect. For example, as a men's coach, I'm actually transitioning more. I'm gonna tell you more of a life coach as overall to help both parties out, right? But from what I see, men, I look at these attractive women on social media, right, that scroll through, and I always look at the comments to see what these guys are saying to them. They're throwing heart eyes, the tongue emoji, the thirstiness and heart eyes, and I'm over here like, bro, what is you doing? First, number one, she is getting 500,000 comments on that post. Do you truly think she's just gonna pick you? Guys will say some explicit stuff to them, and it's just actually disappointing to see that, on a day-to-day basis. I'm like, that shows you lack self-respect. Now, it's one thing if you say it in private in the DMs and stuff like that. That's a whole different conversation for another day. But you're putting it out there in public, in comments, where everybody can see this. Where's the lack of self-respect? So this goes to show, because of lack of self-respect, these dudes are not going to thrive because they putting themselves out there. There's got to be the level of self-respect. There's nothing wrong with liking a picture or a video. Do what you got to do. You like what you like. But when you're posting a comment publicly because you're trying to gain an attention from somebody who doesn't know that you exist, I find that very disturbing. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. So it's been interesting. But a lot of dudes, man, I've helped a lot of dudes, man. Certain dudes have dealt with porn addiction that were married. I remember, I'll never forget a client. He was, like I said, he had a porn addiction. He was married. Still is married, I think. And he really couldn't help it but watch porn all the time. And his lady was pregnant and everything. It was just one of those things. I'm like, man, a lot of dudes are really suffering from porn addiction. And a lot of people don't realize when you excessively masturbate, and I'm speaking for men, you excessively masturbate and watch porn all the time, you're gonna lose your sense of yourself, man. Not only just your sense of self, but when you actually interact with a real woman, you're gonna be weird and awkward. And most importantly, erectile dysfunction is at an all-time high for men under 30. Which is actually quite disappointing because
talk about it, bro.
When you're in your teens and your 20s, you're at an all-time high when it comes to that. Of course, naturally, as you get older, it starts to slightly slow down depending on your nutrition, your lifestyle, how you operate. So it really depends on you. But at the same time, there should be no excuse why a guy who's 21 years old should be going to the gas station trying to purchase a road right, something Monster, whatever you call that stuff, or honey pack, just to satisfy somebody. At that age, you should. It's unexcusable. But that's because today, man, porn is so accessible, and it's actually quite disappointing. Now, I do have a homie that is in that industry. And
in the industry?
Yeah, he's my homie. Yeah, he's in industry. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's doing his thing, and I know he wouldn't want to, cancel that. That's what but
got you.
That's his business venture. But he knows my views on it, but it just hurts a lot of dudes, man. Because you got these guys, man. I mean, man, I'm talking about married guys, dude. I'm talking about guys will purchase OnlyFans and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, Chris, man. When I tell you this is
married men purchasing OnlyFans.
What, man?
Come on.
Look, Chris, I was talking to a guy, maybe a month or 2 months ago or something like that, and it was a little consultation. So he was like, yeah, man, I'm in a little conflicting situation. I'm like, okay, talk to me. So he's still legally married. He's a successful dude. He's late 30s. And he was talking about how he separated from his current wife because he wanted to have intercourse with multiple women. He still wanted to have a little fun, you know. So he's like, okay, let me just separate from her because I'm getting kind of bored. I want something different. And I told him, I was like, okay, because he's already, you know, they've been separated for some time. And I was like, okay. So then he told me, hey, you know, sometimes I miss my wife, but at the same time, I like this fun that I'm having. I'm like, man, so what are you getting out of this fun that you're having? What's the sole purpose of this fun? He's like, I don't know, I just got to get this frustration out. Frustration. Okay. So I said, are you dealing with anybody serious right now outside of, you know, your current wife? He's like, yeah, I got this girl. She's fun, young, and full of energy. I'm like, okay, cool. Why are you making that face like this is real life? This is so he was like, wait, bro. Yeah, the story gets worse. So the girl he's dating is toxic. She's young, she's 20-something years old, he's 30, late 30s or something like that. And he said she's a little toxic, but I like her passion. I said, dude, she's crazy. That's not passion. She's crazy. He's like, you think so? I'm like, bro, she's crazy. He's like, yeah, she stalked me on social media. She slashed my ties, but I love the passion though. I said, my brother, you need to get some help, therapy. Yeah. Because you have something that you've established that is your wife. There was a covenant that you formed, and you still want to go outside and see if the grass is green on the other side. And not only just that, but you're dealing with somebody who's a billion times worse than what you're currently dealing with.
Right.
So I said, dude, you got to, number one, we got to focus on that spiritual health, my brother. You know, we got to work on the spiritual health. And number two, outside of your monetary purpose, you got to find out your spiritual purpose, man. I don't think that really got to him. He didn't get it, you know. Not only just that, but he was like, yeah, I'm still conflicted. I do want to go back to my wife because she was more stable, but I do love being out here on these streets. I was like, then that means you shouldn't have been married in the first place.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for that, man.
I said, you shouldn't have been married. I'm like, first of all, you're late 30s and you chose to get married, and you're in your late 30s still craving, which I understand. Every man has that monster in him, right? The difference, what separates a man is how well he can control that monster.
Right.
It's all about controlling. Every guy has that urge to, you know, you want to, you know,
it's the animalistic.
It's the human, and that's what the way the Superior Man talks about. Us understand who we are in our essence. So once a man understands that, then he can conquer everything. So you're not gonna fall weak to some girl at the grocery store, you know, at Whole Foods that's looking attractive and giving you the eye, and you're gonna fall weak for her, you know. So that's why I always recommend, man, all dudes read that book, man, because that book, Way the Superior Man, says it all, man.
Your book powerful too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
I like that. I like that. Now my book is powerful, man, because I go in. What I do is with this specific book that I have, the ebook, Chris will distribute it on the link. I'll provide a link for it so you can get it. But I talk about instructions. I give an overview of my life at first, and then I have different chapters with different specific instructions on how to go about everything. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see my thought process of why I am the way I am when you read that book. You know, I also experience some other things that kind of made me a higher version of myself. I'm not going to speak about. Chris, you know about it. Yeah, that was wild. But that made me 10 times stronger. You know what I'm saying? made me stronger. So, so those are things that I just understand, man. I just understand that I'm a different kind of cat, you know. So, I used to try to tone down this energy of mine, but energy don't lie. I can't help it. You know, when I'm around people, Chris, like I'll be around certain people, I can tell they get nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, your energy, when you have a strong, powerful energy, people can feel it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I get direct eye contact. I'm gonna look at you and really figure you out from a spiritual sense. So I can, you know, understand how to navigate towards you. So, and it's funny because I went out with a few with me, my homie, and two girls, and this is strictly playtime. These are, you know, a little bit older women. And one woman told me, she's like, oh my gosh, your energy is so strong, so very masculine presence. And I was like, oh wow. Like, she's like, yeah, I appreciate you. So it was one of them things, man. Like, I knew, you know, I don't go outside a lot. Like, I hang out with certain friends and stuff when I'm invited. But when I do go outside, people can feel my energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I knew that I'm in a different level, you know, and dude, I got ways to go. I can only imagine what kind of guy I'm gonna be at 40. Yeah. I can only imagine what kind of guy I'm gonna be at 50. So there's never an ending with self-improvement. Self-improvement is not a season, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle. Right. It should be foundational. That should be a foundational skill. They should have a class in high school called self-improvement. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I talk about this stuff, a lot of guys are like, I ain't trying to hear all that, man. Yeah. But when I'm talking about women and how to code approach, we got all ears. Yeah. You know, so you just see it, man. The results. It's the preparation. It's the preparation piece, bro. Like, you know how we just have that. Not we. I'm not going to speak for me, and I'm not going to speak for you. But individuals, they have this part of them where they feel as though everything has to be an instant gratification, and the most important part is the preparation. I'm gonna tell you this, and Chris, you might agree to this, right? So I know most guys go through, right? When you see a lady, right? And you're like, man, she's attractive, right? She's attractive or whatever. And she gives you some the first day you guys meet, right? Afterwards, you're kind of like, do I want her anymore? Yeah. That feeling right there is like, sometimes it works out though because of the cohesion within the energy. If you guys or the chemistry, if the chemistry is right, most cases that's not the case. But if the chemistry is right, stick with that person. But in most cases, most people get turned off. Like, then she didn't even know what I thought she was because you just said it because of the process. But when you waited some time and you actually developed and got to know the person from who they are, and you actually like the person, and then when you get it in, it's a whole different ball game. You know, that's something that I've you know, when depending on who the woman is and her background and who she is, that's valuable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So those are things that I really coach guys on, is that aspect. Just, you know, knowing. So what's your overall goal like with it all? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're educating, you're coaching others, you're coaching yourself. You know what I'm saying? Purpose is a big key word that I'm honing in on when I'm asking this question. Like, what is the overall finish line look for this? You know what I'm saying? Like, is this something that I know so. I know it's kind of a question to ask, but when you have kids, I know this is something that you're gonna instill in them, right? But how does it look when Joel is not here anymore? Like, what is the overall message that you're looking to manifest and cast out to individuals who are hearing your voice? I would say leaving a legacy, man. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can coach from many different facets of life. You know, my purpose is to give back. I've been giving back since I was 3 years old. You know, they called me when I was living in Congo during the Civil War, when I was a little kid, they called me the professor. Because I was already doing that as a 3-year-old in Congo. You know, running around in underwear amongst a group of people, and I'm coaching people. I'm like, you go here, you go here. I was already doing that. I was called to give back and help and preach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So as long as I'm continuously staying on my purpose and preaching, no matter what genre or no matter what niche that I attack, that's just who I am. I'm a giver. I learn, I'm a sponge, and I give back.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's me.
I got you, dog. I got you.
That's me. Yeah.
And look, so I told you I was only gonna hold you an hour, right?
Of course,
I do have one last question, and this question is something that I ask every guest that comes on the show. As you know, being that you listen to the podcast ever so often, I have a segment in my show that I call 100 thought-provoking questions. And these thought-provoking questions are, it was developed because I thought, say I'm on Shark Tank one day, or say I run into an individual like a Myron Golden, or all of these guys that, I kind of listen to when it comes to personal development. Oh, did I freeze?
I can hear you. You froze a little bit.
Okay. The video froze. All right, as long as you can hear me, we good. So I asked these questions to, kind of gauge their mindset as far as, how they got to where they are in life right now. So the question, we're actually on number 55 out of the 100. The question that I want to ask you is, how do you cope with uncertainty and embrace ambiguity in decision making? And ambiguity is pretty much like the openness or being able to understand that you can look at things in multiple different ways. So how do you cope with uncertainty and embrace the different interpretations that you can have in your decision making process?
I would say, as far as coping with uncertainties, number one, and I would say this answer is going to go hand in hand with all parts of the question that you just asked. Number one, focus on what you can control and not what you can't control.
Right.
A lot of times we want to control everything, but when you truly focus on what you can control, and let God take care of the rest, do your best and let God take care of the rest. That's the best answer I could provide as far as that question, because when we try to focus and force things, when you force something, it just don't seem right. When you force a relationship, it don't feel right. When you force a friendship, it don't feel right. When you're forcing something, you know what I'm saying? Just like with sales, you don't force a person to buy something. The person there's got to be some trust. There's got to be a certain level of belief system for a customer to purchase something. So it's all a matter of just focus on what you can control. And as long as you focus on what you control and being the best at whatever you do, and God will take care of the rest and lead you in the right direction. The universe.
Yes, sir.
So that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let us know if there are, any new things that are coming for you. And then other than that, man, I'm gonna need you to head us out with some words of wisdom.
Yeah, man. As far as new things, man, I am going to my YouTube channels. I'm switching my niche a little bit.
Yes,
you're actually the fourth person I told about this. So I'm getting away from relationship talk.
Okay.
And I'm more focused on men's fashion, life coaching, lifestyle. I mean, look where I live. So I can it's only right to do lifestyle.
Facts.
And then I would say other genres, like helping people with purpose and career growth and stuff like that. So definitely getting away from relationship real quick, just because everybody's doing it. And I don't want to be in those gender war debates. And, those are good. I see the purpose of it. At the end of the day, as long as a man that you understand your purpose, understand who you are, believe in yourself and do what you got to do, the right woman will follow. In essence, you know, so
yeah.
I'm getting away from those conversations as a whole. I mean, I may do some private coaching on that.
Right.
As far as my consultation, I'm still going to cover that. But as far as publicly, I'm no longer doing that.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. What's some words of wisdom, man, so we can get out of here, my guy?
Purpose, number one. Stay on your purpose. Number two, focus on what you can control and have some self-respect. And you're going to make it very far in life.
Love you, brother. Hey, listen,
Likewise,
family. Man. This is my guy, Jay the Professor, Joe Insilo, man.
That's right.
Tap in with him at Jay the Professor on Instagram. It's at Jay. It's 2 R's though on your name.
2 R's at the end. There you go. Yeah, on Instagram it's 2 R's, but every other social media platform is 1 R. Yeah,
you're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Definitely. And what I'm gonna do too from the link that you sent me. I'm gonna for your ebook, I'm gonna add that to my link tree as well, and I'm gonna put it like under. I have like a tab where I put like affiliate links so that they can go up there and get your ebook. But definitely tap in and get your ebook too, man. That is powerful, bro. It's powerful. It's a good read. You know what I'm saying? It's not a long read. You feel me? But it's packed with so much juice. It's packed with so much juice and so much understanding and just knowledge that I feel anybody, honestly, whether it's man or female, that can take from the knowledge that you put in there, man. So I appreciate you, brother. We definitely gotta do another one.
That's right.
You definitely gotta do another one. And family, listen. Remember, someone has to see your greatness. When I start with yourself, stay blessed, always finesse. Definitely trust the Most High's process. The truest keys to success. We will be back next week, Tuesday or Thursday. I don't have a guest on. If you need to, come up and utilize the platform, again, family, all you have to do, follow that link right there. Tap in with me, shoot me an email, shoot me a DM, Instagram, all social media platforms. You can come utilize this platform to See Your Greatness podcast. This was episode 68 of the See Your Greatness podcast. Personal development, right? Equals personal growth. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, man. We out.
All right.